people of the World Wide Web. So it's Cypher Sigma here, and it is a look what I've been watching. So this is the midweek video where I basically go the physical media that I've been watching in the past week, and this is the past. It's a very small pile, but still, I have been watching a few bits. I've been working on series and stuff, and I'm trying to work there, so this limits what I see, but obviously we have this very nice, shiny covered Blu-ray of Back to the Future. My favourite trilogy, just my personal opinion. Pardon me, obviously it was a little almanac in it. This was gifted to me from AJ, so I only had this on DVD, but he very fortunately gifted me a very nice Blu-ray because he had it. Whether I then upgrade this again, I don't know. I mean, I prefer it on Blu-ray. It's old enough, like I think it gives it a good enough upgrade. 4K, I don't know if it's necessarily needed. Obviously, there are some bits in 2 and 3 that you can tell, obviously, were limited for their time. But it's a great trilogy. Really enjoyed it. I forget how going back and watching it, and I don't watch this often enough. Probably is the longest trilogy that I've rewatched, but it just is all the little other people, like when in the second one where you have the clock tower and the bloke telling you about it is actually a mechanic and not realising that. Just a little bit, I always enjoy watching it and coming across new little bits, and just how clever how so much of this all interlinks into each other. But yeah, that is the first one we have to watch. Next one, so this also was a gift from AJ, from AJ's Movie Place. So this is the movie Babylon. I think him and Matt have both tried to watch this and both failed. Managed to get through it. It's just over 3 hours long. Essentially, if I can get cast. So you have this main guy here. He works for this, or he is looking for work. Basically, he helps move an elephant very early on, and it's basically going to this club where it's very raunchy and stuff, and this is where you meet Brad Pitt's character. Barbie, why can't I remember her name? I'm having a right day. Margot Robbie, and then we also have the musician here, just offside. And basically, it's these characters in Hollywood. You have it, I think this is set around the 1920s. So this was the period where they went from black and white and no sound. Obviously, Brad Pitt's character is an established actor. Margot Robbie's character is kind of new. She manages to, due to a set of circumstances, go into this party, gets a job, shows how good she is, and then this is the progression on, and it very much shows the Hollywood of all the things they had to go through for going to sound, and what issues it has. And it's kind of a rise and fall of all of these people, and they go through some bad times. It is a very long movie, very up and down in places. Very destructive. I kind of would like to class this in a movie, and this is something that I'm experiencing a lot, that there are a lot of films that feature characters that have addictions, and it's not necessarily, and this is where these characters are, and it is a little bit of a hard watch because, you know, they have drug problems, you know, they're trying to get a career, that's all they want to do, but they want to party and they want to do their drugs or something, in Margot Robbie's case or something, and then she gets into debt because of stuff, and then she just kind of gets worse and worse and worse and doesn't learn her lesson, and then it ends up leading to, spoiler alert, her death, or her character's death in this, and it is the same of how a lot of the people go. It's just that it can put a kind of negative feel on the film, and kind of puts a kind of dark cloud that you may feel, and you may want to watch something. I say I watched this over one night, so I didn't mind it. It's not something I'm necessarily going to rush back to watch. As the movie starts, it's not necessarily where you expect the movie to go, but I say it is quite interesting to learn about stuff. And the thing I found that's very interesting is these people's lives. They're loosely based, I believe, off real actors and actresses from that time. And obviously certain stuff that happens in this was actually then shown in, like, Singing in the Rain and other movies like that of that time. So I thought those were quite interesting. Not an amazing movie. Glad to have it in the collection. Thank you, AJ, again. So then we go back. So then we have The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. So I pulled this out. My wife was talking about this. I thought she'd want to watch it, and she never watched it. I actually really thoroughly enjoyed this. I mean, I liked it the first time, but you forget of all the issues. I mean, it just showed just how good an actor Brad Pitt is. I mean, the CG is a little bit off when they try and de-age him, obviously, because he isn't born as an old man, and then kind of reverses but it is, I can understand his reasoning for it, and it is again a creature of its time, of where, you know, he ends up being old on a sailboat and helps out, and then they have the war, but he survives it, and he starts getting younger, and you know, it's a little sad of when they have the child and he obviously steps away, but I can kind of understand the reasoning for it. But it is kind of like two people's lives and how they interconnect, and it is very nice story, very good idea, very executed well. And then the final one is Christopher Nolan's Tenet. So this is my second viewing. Oh, put it that way. Really enjoyed this at the movies. Really nice to watch it when you watch it for like the first few hours and you're a bit like, what's going on? Okay, you have this kind of reverse bullets, but they're sent from the future, but you don't get it. And then the last 40 minutes is great when you kind of had the realization of how this is all interconnected and linked on. And I thought it's great. I thought John David Washington was great. I also liked the fact it had obviously Robert Pattinson before his days in obviously the Batman, and I thought this is probably, to be honest, I think when I watched this movie, this was the first movie I went, oh my god, it actually shows another side of him outside of Twilight, and thought I look forward to see what he does forward. And I really liked him in the Batman, so this was great. It was great how it all connected, and it's, you know, not only I think this is a great story and told, and you know, the actors and actresses in it is well liked, but just to, if you watch it and appreciate it and understand it, and it is one of those movies you do have to concentrate all the way through. If you go off, make a cup of tea, come back and you miss stuff, you don't quite get it, because obviously the realisation of the last 40-30 minutes is quite pivotal to understanding the whole thing. But not only that, is then when you, if you want to go further and watch behind the scenes and watch how Christopher Nolan directed it and shot a lot of stuff, it's even better, like how the brain would have to conceive stuff. But anyway, that has been a look what I've been watching. So I've watched 6 films, even though obviously it's a trilogy. I mean, I do have Pirates of the Caribbean. I did the RoboCop trilogy and Titanic and stuff. So I do have quite big ones to come. And obviously these films are all close to 3 hours, if not. So you imagine that's 9 hours there. And obviously this is another 6. So 15 hours almost of watching. Probably give it, you know, which is probably, if you imagine films that are an hour and a half long, I could have probably watched 10. But I've watched 6. But there you go, that has been Look What I've been watching. Hope you enjoyed this week. Is there anything there? Did you like them? Do you agree, disagree with my opinion? Let me know in the comments down below. But otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you want to do, and I shall see you in the next one.